Hi, Stewardship Week friends. This is Melissa Wilson. I'm an extension educator in 4-H youth development with University of Illinois Extension, and I'm excited to spend a few minutes with you today as we talk about enjoying the outdoors, staying safe in the sun. So today, let's think together about some fun things that we like to do while we're playing outside. I've thought of a couple of things like playing at recess, swimming, or playing sports. Can you think of a few examples? I'm going to pause just a second while you give your teacher some ideas. Great job thinking of lots of fun things that we can do outside. If you didn't have a chance to share your idea, hold on to that and maybe you and your classmates can talk about it after our lesson is done today. So today we're going to explore an important topic called sun safety. So enjoying the beauty of Southern Illinois, a trip to the beach, swimming in the pool in the summertime, playing sports like soccer or baseball or softball or t-ball are all great ways to be outside and have lots of fun. So while being outside is lots of fun, there are some things that we can do to protect ourselves too. We have to make sure that we don't have too much exposure to the sun. Let's explore together to learn a little bit more about sunlight and staying safe while we're having lots of fun. So there are many different forms of light. One of the most common forms that we encounter every day is sunlight. So did you know that we need sunlight in order to live? Sunlight provides our bodies with a very, very important mineral. Can you guess what that mineral might be? I'll pause just a second while you talk with your teacher about some ideas. If you said vitamin D, you are correct. So while sunlight is very important to us and we need good vitamin D in our lives to keep ourselves strong and healthy and have lots of energy, we know that the sun can also be dangerous as well. So we have to make sure that we take some preventative measures to make sure that we don't have too much sun exposure. So did you know that 80% of lifetime sun exposure can happen before you're even 18 years old? Why do you think that is? Think to yourself some reasons why that might happen. So if you were thinking it's because kids love to play outside, you're absolutely right. You guys play outside year round, especially in the summer when the UV rays from the sun are more intense. So what is UV light? So UV or ultraviolet light is radiation, which is found in sunlight. It's an invisible form of energy that travels through air and through objects. There are three types of UV rays: UVA, UVB, and UVC. UVA rays can penetrate deep into the skin and can cause the skin to age and to wrinkle over time. UVB rays are the most powerful and the most dangerous to us. These rays can cause sunburns and skin cancer as we get older. UVC rays are also called lethal rays, which sounds a little scary, but thankfully these rays are completely absorbed by the Earth's ozone layer and do not actually reach the Earth's surface. So what are some things that we can do to protect ourselves from dangerous UV rays? The first one is to pay attention. Pay attention to the time of day that you're outside. The Earth's exposure to UV rays increases between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m., and it peaks every day between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. This is called solar noon. At this time, the travel path for UV rays is short and direct, so it's much easier to get a sunburn during that time. You can also wear a hat and sunglasses. It's important to protect your head and eyes from the sun. Your eyes can actually get sunburned too, just like your skin. So sunglasses should always offer 100% UV protection in order to protect your eyes from the sun's damaging rays. Wearing a sun hat to protect your head, face, top of your ears, and your neck is also a great idea. You can also bring an umbrella. Bringing an umbrella to shade yourself from the sun is always a great idea. Taking shade under a big umbrella at the pool or the beach or in your own backyard is a great way to stay protected. Also a good time to stop and get a drink and to cool off a little bit during the summertime. Wearing sunscreen is one of the best ways to protect yourself from dangerous sun exposure. Let's learn more about sunscreen on the next few slides. So let's talk about sunscreen today. Is it all the same? The short answer is no. You have likely been at the grocery store at some point and seen the long aisle of sunscreen, especially in the summertime. So what does it mean? What do the numbers mean? Is it all the same? Is it all as good as the next product? So we need to learn a little bit more about what those bottles look like. So the first thing you're going to see on the bottle is something called SPF. What does SPF even stand for? So SPF stands for sun protection factor. Sunscreen helps to protect your skin from harmful UV rays, and it prevents a painful sunburn. You should always wear a minimum of at least SPF 15 when you're outdoors. So the number on the bottle, what does it actually mean? The number on the sunscreen bottle lets you know how long you can stay outside. For example, if you're wearing SPF 15, that means that you can stay outside in the sun 15 times longer than you could if you were wearing no sunscreen at all. So now that you've applied your sunscreen of at least SPF 15 or more, how long will it protect you from the sun? Most people begin to develop a sunburn within 10 to 30 minutes of exposure, and a lot of that depends on how light or dark the pigment of your skin is. So for this example, we are going to talk about someone who's very fair-skinned, and they can burn faster than people that have more pigment in their skin. So for example, their burn time might be just 10 minutes. So how do we know when we should apply sunscreen again? So there's a math formula that you can do to help you figure that out. So you're going to take the number on the bottle, so SPF, for example, for this example, we're going to use 30, times the average number of minutes that it usually takes you to burn, and that is going to give you how many minutes of protection that sunscreen can offer. So for this example, SPF 30 times an average of 10 minutes to get a sunburn equals 300 minutes of protection, or 5 hours of protection. One thing that's important to remember is that this is not an exact science. So remember, when you're outside, if it's been less than 5 hours and you start to feel your skin being really warm and start to look a little pink or red, always make sure that you put sunscreen on before that time runs out, or you start to feel your skin getting a little warm and red. So important reminders. Make sure that you throw away your old sunscreen. Scientists have said that the best way to prevent dangerous sunburns is by using sunscreen that has not expired. So if you have sunscreen in your bag from last summer, go ahead and throw that away and buy a new bottle at the grocery store the next time you're there. Also, always remember to reapply before your protection time runs out or you start to feel your skin become warm and red. So let's review some of the things that we've talked about today. Question number 1, can you see UV rays? The answer to that is no. Remember, UV rays are invisible. Sometimes when things are invisible, it's easy to forget about. So just because we can't see UV rays does not mean that they're not dangerous. So we need to remember to put on that sunscreen. Question number 2, do UV rays shine only in the summer? No, UV rays are present year-round. But you may be thinking, well, I don't get a sunburn in the summertime or in the wintertime, but it is possible. Really, the reason that we don't get sunburns in the wintertime is because we're bundled up in lots of clothes, so our skin is not that exposed. And if it's cold outside, you probably don't want to be out there very long anyway. So we have to make sure we remember, even though it is wintertime, we still have to be careful with UV rays. And question number 3, what can stop UV rays? So remember, a solid barrier like protective clothing or sunscreen is very, very important. So today we have a fun activity that we have included in your hands-on learning box for Stewardship Week. We are going to make UV bead bracelets today. UV beads change colors when they're exposed to sunlight. So each of you are going to be able to choose one fuzzy stick and one bead of each color. You're going to thread those beads onto the stick, put it around your wrist, and twist the end so it makes a bracelet that fits your wrist. So after you have done that, on a sunny day, take your bracelet outside in the sunshine. What do you think will happen? You're exactly right. When UV rays are exposed to your bracelet, all of those beads are going to change a different color. So how long do you think it will take for them to actually change? A lot of that depends on the sunshine, the level of clouds you have, all kinds of different factors. But you will find that no matter what, even if you have a super cloudy day, your beads are going to change colors, even if it's just a little bit. So after you've been playing outside, take your bracelet back inside and you can observe that the colors change back to that clear or white color. This is a good reminder that if you're outside and your beads change colors, that you should be wearing sunscreen. If you're not able to put on sunscreen at that moment, you should at least limit your time outside to less than 30 minutes per session. Thank you all so much for joining our session today on sun safety. I hope you have enjoyed the lesson. And I think that the next time you're outside, I hope that you remember to put on your sunscreen or your protective clothing so you can avoid a nasty sunburn. So thank you guys so much for your time today, and we will be talking with you again later.